18th Century English Literature. Introduction. The 18th century stands as one of the most dynamic and intellectually vibrant periods in English literature, often referred to as the Age of Reason or the Augustan Age. It was a time when writers embraced clarity, order, wit, and rational thought. Literature during this century not only entertained but also shaped public opinion, fueled political debate, and reflected the rapid social, cultural, and economic changes of the era. From the brilliance of satire in Jonathan Swift's works to the refinement of poetry in Alexander Pope, and from the rise of the periodical essay to the birth of the English novel with writers like Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson, and Henry Fielding. This century gave English literature some of its most influential voices. The Augustan Age and Satire. The early 18th century, often called the Augustan Age, was dominated by writers who looked back to classical Rome for inspiration. Literature was marked by elegance, balance, and polished style. Satire became one of the most powerful forms of expression. Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels remains a brilliant critique of politics, human nature, and society, while Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock turned a trivial incident into a mock-epic masterpiece filled with wit and grace. These works exemplify the age's fascination with reason, sharp social commentary, and artistic refinement. The rise of the novel. One of the most significant literary developments of the 18th century was the emergence of the modern English novel. Before this time, fiction was not regarded as a serious form of literature. However, writers like Daniel Defoe with Robinson Crusoe, Samuel Richardson with Pamela, and Henry Fielding with Tom Jones elevated storytelling into a respected art. Their novels explored human psychology, morality, class, and individual experience, paving the way for later giants like Jane Austen. The rise of the novel also reflected the growing literacy rates and the increasing importance of the middle class in shaping literary culture, periodical essays, and journalism. The 18th century was also the golden age of the essay and journalism. Writers such as Joseph, Addison, and Richard Steele founded The Spectator and the Tatler, which offered witty, moral, and insightful commentary on daily life, politics, manners, and literature. These periodicals brought literature into coffeehouses and homes, creating a reading culture that was social and accessible. For the first time, literature reached a wide audience outside the aristocracy, shaping public opinion in profound ways. Sentimentalism and pre-romantic trends. Toward the latter half of the century, literature began to shift from strict rationalism to a focus on sentiment, emotion, and individuality. This change was seen in the works of Lawrence Sterne with Tristram Shandy, and in the rise of the graveyard poets, such as Thomas Gray, whose Elegy written in a country churchyard combined reflection, melancholy, and lyric beauty. These trends anticipated the coming Romantic movement, which would dominate the early 19th century. Drama and theatre. Although the 18th century was not as rich in drama as earlier or later periods, it did produce some notable works. Richard Brinsley Sheridan's The School for Scandal remains a sharp, witty play exposing the hypocrisy and gossip of high society. Comedy of manners thrived in this period, using humour as a way to critique social behaviour and values. Conclusion. 18th century English literature is remarkable for its diversity and innovation. It was the century that gave birth to the modern novel, perfected satire, and laid the foundation for both realism and romanticism. Whether through Pope's polished couplets, Swift's biting satire, or Richardson's psychological depth, the literature of this age continues to inspire readers with its wit, elegance, and insight into human nature. The 18th century was truly an age where literature became a mirror of society, reflecting its complexities, critiquing its flaws, and shaping its future.